This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Welcome to Easy Eats. My name is Chef Yves Dechaine, and today we're in the Greener Villages Learning Kitchen with Alex Mackey from Cool Cat Pizza. Welcome, Alex, and thank you for doing this today.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Alex, Cool Cat Pizza, tell me a little bit about it.
Well, Cool Cat Pizza, I started Cool Cat Pizza a year and a half ago. I make vegan pizzas. I've always been obsessed with pizza, so I decided to start my business to feed the people of Fredericton vegan pizzas. Kind of how I got into it was I was doing food blogging through Chickpea Express, where I kind of created this vegan community in the Maritimes, in Canada, and the States, and I saw a lot of really positive feedback for my vegan recipes, and I thought, I want to share these with these people. And of course, pizza is my passion, so it's kind of how it started.
Right on. So you said you were a food blogger. Does that mean that you got a base? Did you go to culinary school or anything like that?
I didn't. It's kind of all self-taught. My grandmother, both of my grandmothers actually were really big cooks and bakers, so I kind of learned growing up. So I just kind of taught myself, I guess.
Right on. So other than being vegan, what does Cool Cat Pizza do to stand out from the rest of the other pizzas that you would see at the market or here in town here?
Yeah, so the biggest difference with my pizza is that it's fermented.
Okay.
So I make everything from scratch. We ferment the dough and hand stretch it and top with amazing local vegan ingredients.
Right on. So you said fermenting the dough. So I know we ferment beer and things like that. So walk me through what do you mean by fermenting your dough?
Yeah, so basically when you make the pizza dough, you start with a form of yeast. I use a pouliche, so it's a form of pre-fermentation. Which you then make the dough with, and the fermentation gives your dough a nice texture, fragrance, makes it nice and airy, and easier to digest as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about the easy to digest, but I know that a nice fermented dough gives you that tang and that chew that you're looking for. And then you said you're using a pouliche or a Polish, the way however you say it, I'm not quite sure, but it's quicker than say a sourdough starter.
Yes, for sure. So with a sourdough starter, it's something you would feed every day. But with a pouliche, it's like a one-time thing. You mix it up, you let it rest for 24 hours, and then you make your pizza dough with it.
Right on.
Yeah.
So it's pretty simple and easy to do.
It is, yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
No, fantastic. So how long has Cool Cat Pizza been in town?
About a year and a half now.
A year and a half?
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. So you are selling through markets and wholesale, but have you ever thought about opening up a shop?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that's kind of the dream, is to have my own shop for sure. I wanted to start with wholesale and just local, just to get a feel for the market. But yeah, in the future, like a shop is definitely something I would like to do.
So if you're looking for your pizzas, where would you be able to find them?
Well, you can get them at our home base, which is at Chef Rick's Meals to Go on the Hanwell.
Okay.
We're at the Boys Farmers Market on Saturdays, and we will also be at the Garrison Market this summer.
So I guess wholesale, how do you gauge, or how do you know how many to make, and how much do you make in the run of a week or a month?
So basically, I take orders a week in advance.
Okay.
So my wholesalers will place a purchase order, and then I'll each week figure out how many pizzas I have to make and then go from there. So it can be anywhere from like 50 to 75 for wholesale per week, just depending on which vendors are restocking.
Okay, so I guess, do you have to pre-order these pizzas, or can you just walk into the shop and grab them just like that?
Yeah, well, here in Fredericton, you can just walk in and grab a pizza. With my wholesale vendors, they have like a 1 week where they order, and then I will ship it out to them.
So Alex, as a wholesale pizza maker, what stores retail your pizzas, and are you only in this province, or have you branched out into the Maritimes?
Yeah, so right now we're at Simply for Life on the north side, as well as Moncton. We are at the Wellness Exchange, which is in Moncton and Dieppe. Right now we're mostly within the province, I do sell retail to Nova Scotia as well, so I ship directly to residential addresses in
Okay.
bulk. Yeah.
Are you looking to expand?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very interested in expanding into Nova Scotia because I know there's a lot of vegans there. I attended Veg Fest in October, which was in Halifax, and the response was amazing. People there were very supportive. So yeah, definitely want to branch out to Nova Scotia.
Vegan pizza isn't something new really, because the dough for most pizzas are vegan. It's just what you put on it. So I think what sets you apart from others, because I've had your pizza, is your dough. And your dough is super, super fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So today we're going to learn how to make that dough. So is it hard? Is it difficult? Is there a lot of work to it?
I would say it requires a lot of patience. There's
Okay.
a lot of steps, a lot of waiting. With the fermentation, I find patience is key because it just gives you such an amazing flavor. So as long as you partake in all the steps.
So let's get back to fermentation here for a minute. Is there a way to ferment something too long? Say your poulish is, you said 24 hours. Is that the minimum? But is there a maximum that you can keep that in the fridge?
Yeah, with the poulish, it's a minimum of 16 hours and a maximum of 24 hours.
Okay.
So once you pass the 24-hour mark, your poulish is going to get a little bit acidic and lose a little bit of potency. So it's not going to rise properly or have that really sweet, fragrant taste. Which is why I like the poulish versus sourdough, because it is very immediate and it gives you that 24-hour head start on your fermentation.
Okay, and probably a little bit easier to manage, I guess,
Yeah.
for what you're doing. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. We'll be back to make this lovely fermented dough with Alex after these few messages.
Hi, I'm Damilola Ajibade, the host of The Journey Amplified here on Rogers TV, where we share stories about newcomers and immigrants, their successes, their achievements, their challenges, how they are integrating as newcomers in the province. Join us on The Journey Amplified here on Rogers TV.
Mr. Boudry, my name is Mary Travers, but he called me La Bolduc. My daughter Denise. I came to record a song.
But you're not well known, Mrs. Bolduc. You've never recorded before.
Oh, well, gotta begin somewhere, huh?
I suppose your accompanist is not a professional player.
Oh, Denise can't play.
Sorry to say, we have no masters left, huh, Georges?
Oh, I always keep a dozen in stock, boss.
You're aware that recording costs a lot.
Here's $20.
That's a working man's salary for a month there, Mr. Baudry.
Well, what do you say we begin right now?
Let's go.
Mes amis, je vous assure que le temps est bien dur. Il faut pas se décourager. Ça va bien vite commencer. De l'ouvrage, il va en avoir pour tout le
Mary
monde.
Travers had a hit right in the middle of the Depression. She went on to sing for princes and presidents, but to her fans, she would always be La Bolduc.
Welcome back to Easy Eats. Again, my name is Chef Yves Dechaine, and we're in the Greener Village's Learning Kitchen with Alex Mackey from Cool Cat Pizza, and she's going to show us how to make the dough for your famous Cool Cat pizzas. So, walk me through it, Alex.
Okay, so the first step is we're going to take our poulish, our pre-ferment, and we're going to add that to our mixer.
Okay, so how do you make the poulish for everyone to know?
Yeah, so the poulish is just a mixture of water. I use maple syrup for my sugar,
Okay,
yeast, and flour.
right on.
Very simple.
So it's basically just like starting a regular starter. It's just the age of it is the difference.
Yeah, and with a sourdough, you wouldn't add any yeast. It would just ferment with the flour and water. But with the poulish, where it's a lot quicker, you want the yeast so it rises faster.
Well, that's exactly it, because the sourdough, you get your yeast from the air. It's a wild yeast capture.
So I'm just gonna pour that in.
So we've got, what, a pound of poulish?
Approximately. This will make 5 or 6 pizzas by the time it's all mixed up with our flour here.
Well, fantastic. And in my house with all of my kids and stuff, 4 pizzas will disappear easy.
That's
so.
one night, basically.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
So we're gonna take our water and add salt, This helps control the yeast to make sure it doesn't overproof while it's in the fridge fermenting, and it also helps with flavor. So just mix it up to dissolve it. That's it. So we're just gonna let our pouliche, we're just gonna knead it really quick just to loosen it up a little bit.
Okay.
And then we're just gonna start adding our flour and our water little by little, just alternating each time.
So how much flour are we putting in there?
It's 700 grams of flour.
Okay.
And so this ratio of flour to water will make about a 65% hydration dough.
Okay, fantastic. Now, 65 hydration dough, for those who don't know it, can you kind of explain that to people a little bit?
Yeah, it's like 65% of the dough mass is water. And so that's gonna give like a nice, airy sort of dough versus maybe like a more dense dough, which would have a lower hydration.
Exactly, so bigger bubbles,
Yeah.
chewier texture, I guess.
Yes, more rise. I just prefer the texture of higher hydration, which is basically what a sourdough pizza would be as well, about 65%.
Vegan pizzas, Alex. Are you vegan yourself, or is this something that you're just trying to introduce to the market because people are looking for it?
I am vegan myself. I've been vegan for the past 5 years, and I've severely missed pizza. I grew up eating pizza every birthday, every Friday nights with my family, we would eat pizza. And so that's something that I really, really missed when I stopped eating animal products. And I know a lot of my friends who are vegan really missed pizzas, and when I would share my vegan pizzas at home with them, they were so excited and they wanted to try it. And so it was very natural that when I wanted to open a business, I was like, I need my friends to eat vegan pizza and vegan garlic fingers again.
And that's usually how most of these small businesses start, is your friends go, this is awesome, you should sell it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So is there a reason why we're alternating? Is it just so you can check the consistency, or is it, or could you just, if you wanted to, just chuck it all in at once?
I add it in little by little just so it mixes in evenly and there's no chunks. And so
Okay.
that basically if you were to add it all in at once, you might risk over mixing it. And so I want it to be nice and airy.
So yeah, you're right. Over mixing it'll make it denser, and you won't get that pillowy crust that you're looking for, right?
Exactly.
So as a wholesaler, do you just offer one type of pizza? Do you just, or do you offer different kinds of pizzas?
Yeah, so with our wholesale, we offer 5 to 6 flavors.
Okay.
So our best sellers, we have our margarita and our garlic fingers. Those are staples. We have sweet and spicy, which I guess is kind of our closest thing to Hawaiian. It's like a banana pepper pineapple. We have dill pickle garlic fingers, which is very popular in the summer. We do barbecue dill pickle, and we also have an exclusive donair pizza.
Donair pizza, obviously made with seitan. And for those who don't know what seitan is, can you walk us through what it is?
Yeah, seitan is a vegan alternative to a meat product. It's made with vital wheat gluten, so it's essentially like a bready product. It's flavored with different spices, onions, garlic, and kind of formed into a cuttable shape that you can then put on your pizzas and bake or eat in your sandwiches. It's amazing.
Do you guys make that in-house at Cool Cats, or do you have a supplier here in town that supplies that for you?
Yeah, we do have a supplier. We get our donair seitan from Scottage Cheese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And she also helps you out with your cheese products, I would assume, as well.
She does. She makes the best vegan mozzarella ever. It's so melty and delicious. We love Scottage cheese here.
Fantastic. So it looks like we're almost done. So
yes.
What are we looking for as a finished product for your pizza dough?
So we want everything to be fully incorporated and for the dough to kind of be pulling away from the sides. Once it's all fully mixed in, we're going to let it just knead for a few minutes and get nice and smooth. And then once the dough is smooth with no chunks or anything, that's how we know it's finished and ready to proof.
And how long do we proof the dough for, roughly?
I'll proof my dough for about 1 hour at room temperature before moving it to the fridge for the cold ferment, which will be anywhere from 48 to 72 hours.
Okay, and with that cold ferment, instead of just leaving it ferment, say, on the table and stuff like that, we're developing more flavors, right? And giving that illusion of it's a sourdough, but it's a quicker version of a sourdough is what you're making essentially, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right on. So you're not only doing pizzas now, are you, Alex? You're also branching out into the, I saw the other day on your Facebook page that you're doing cookies now, and I saw those lovely cakes, like those deep and delicious type of cakes, which are awesome. What made you spring into that?
Well, I think desserts with pizza, it's kind of a natural pairing. It's also just a passion of mine, I guess. I love baking, and just another outlet other than pizza to be able to bake and create new flavors is very exciting to me. And as well as the nostalgia aspect. With the deep and delicious cakes, I mean, who didn't grow up eating those?
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
tasty, and I really just wanted to give people a vegan option for that. Because it's a very simple thing, you know, cakes with icing, just at your convenience in your freezer. So again, it's kind of like things that I've missed, I want to recreate and allow people who miss them to have them back again.
We'll be back right after this.
Hello everyone, I'm Gary.
I'm Karen.
I'm Ed.
I'm Eleanor.
We are the band Running Out of Time. I'd like to invite you to join us and guests every Sunday night at 8 o'clock.
Right here on Southwest Jubilee.
On Rogers TV, Channel 10.
For some good old country, bluegrass, and gospel music.
Please join us every Sunday night at 8 o'clock right here on Southwest Jubilee, Rogers TV.
My name is Diani, host of Real with Diani Blanco, where we sit down with Atlantic Canada's inspiring leaders. Don't miss out and join us only on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Easy Eats. We're back here in the Learning Kitchen with Alex.
Yeah.
So let's get to work here. So
Absolutely.
how do we create and get that stretch, and let's make a pizza shell?
Pizza. Okay, so the first thing is we're gonna have our dough ball here, which I've already reballed. Yeah, so first I just take some semolina and flour and dust the work surface so we don't have anything sticking.
And I just want to add that we've had this made ahead of time.
Yes.
So the one that you made is now resting in the fridge, and then we'll for a later date.
Absolutely, so this is already fermented.
So how many pizzas do you make in a run of a week, Alex?
I make anywhere from 50 to 70.
Wow, and you hand stretch 50 to 70 doughs.
I do, yes. I hand stretch all of them. It's actually my favorite part of the process, though. I find it very therapeutic and relaxing.
Now, do you sell just the doughs as well? Can you get just the dough from Cool Cats, or do you have to order it with the stuff on it?
Yeah, so I do make just the dough, mostly on a pre-order basis.
Okay.
So I do sell like frozen dough balls for people who have their own pizza ovens and who just want to have their own like at-home pizza night.
Gotcha. Do you sell them par cooked as well?
All my pizzas are fully cooked, and the dough would be completely just raw, like up into a ball form, and then frozen. So whenever you want to use it, you just take it out a few hours ahead of time and let it defrost.
That's wonderful, yeah. I know it's nice, it's quick, it's easy, and for those those who aren't quite sure about how to make pizza dough, it's a nice alternative.
Absolutely. One important thing that I do with my pizza crust that I think makes it kind of unique is I like to press all of the air kind of to the edges, which is why I like to hand stretch it so that the edges don't get pressed down and then they'll puff up nicely in the heat.
I notice you're also making a ridge, so you're kind of making a well to put the sauce and stuff on, so it gives it a thicker crust.
Absolutely. I like a nice puffy crust.
So do I,
all
yeah.
the air bubbles. Yeah, so it's just like that, and then I'll just kind of like stretch it out to the size that I want.
Have you gotten to the point yet, Alex, where you're tossing it up in the air?
Sometimes for fun I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can do it, do it.
Sure, I haven't done it in a while, but we'll try. So the trick is just not poking your fingers out and always keeping it into a fist and then just kind of tossing it up. And you can get higher, and the higher you spin it, the larger it'll stretch.
Beautiful.
And then you go, and then we can bring it back again, so if you don't want it that big. And now, we don't have that lovely dent that you had going on here, but here we
Can
go.
work it back in. That was awesome.
Well, thank you. And again, rustic pizzas don't have to be perfectly round, right?
Exactly. That's the best part. They're all hand stretched, so they're all going to look a little bit different. I think that looks great. ready for toppings.
We'll start off with what? A little tomato sauce?
Yes,
There we
very
go.
simple tomato sauce.
Now, my question to you is do you like a lot of sauce, a little bit of sauce? What's your sauce ratio for pizza? Everyone has a different thought on the process.
That's true. I lean towards a lot of sauce. I love a saucy pizza, especially with just like a simple tomato basil sauce.
All right, so to that we're going to add sun-dried tomatoes. Now, an original margarita pizza just has plum tomatoes on it. So what made you choose the sun-dried?
I really like the flavor of sun-dried tomatoes.
Okay.
I really like the way that the oil in the sun-dried tomatoes affects the way the pizza cooks.
I gotcha, yeah, you get that blistery in the...
Yeah. Just add as many as you like. You measure with your heart when you're making pizza.
And then to that you tear up some basil. You put the basil on, or do you put your cheese on first?
We're going to put the basil under the cheese so that it doesn't burn or anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then you just put whole leaves on? Or do you tear, or do you cut it into shifts?
I'll kind of like tear them a little bit so they're like a little bit more bite-sized. Oh, it smells so good.
It does.
Fresh
and
basil.
It'd be nice in a couple weeks from now when the basil is actually going to come into the garden. So this is store-bought stuff right now, but in the gardens out back, we've got a lovely herb garden that I just sourced from.
That's amazing.
There we go. And then, I know this isn't part of your pizza, but I am a fanatic of roasted red peppers on my pizza. So hopefully we can put a few of those on your pizza as well.
Can't go wrong with roasted red peppers.
So we're going to move on to the next step, which is your cheese, right?
Yes.
So we're going to use Scottish Cheese's dairy-free parm, which is basically just nutritional yeast with a little bit of added spices and stuff, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's garlicky and it's cheesy, and I find it just makes the pizza flavor pop. So I like to just kind of load this stuff on there.
So nutritional yeast, can you talk a little bit on that and why people are using this as a cheese substitute?
Oh my goodness, nutritional yeast is amazing.
It is,
I mean, first of all, it's just so cheesy naturally on its own, and it's very healthy for you as well. It has so much B12 in it, so you can really just sprinkle it onto anything and add that nutrition, add that extra flavor. So it's a really big staple for vegans.
Exactly. So it has that kind of umami kind of cheese cheese flavor that you're looking for.
Absolutely.
For those who are missing it. And then we're going to put on our vegan feta. So you use Scottish cheeses, but unfortunately I didn't have that at the time. And then again, at the Greener Village, we use what's donated to us. And it was kind of fun that when I said you were coming on and I was about to go and grab some came in. So you asked the universe, and it provides.
Ask and you shall receive.
That's right.
That's amazing. It looks so good.
So this is a little bit different than the stuff that you usually use, isn't it?
It is, yeah. This is like harder. The stuff I use is more like crumbly and like oily, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
This is fun though. It feels like real cheese, like the way it's kind of smushing apart. I love to play with food, actually. I think that's a really big part of why I like cooking and pizza so much.
Well, you said there was the song that inspired you, but the cat, is that a cat from your past? Is it the kitty cat that you have at home?
It's kind of just a random cat, but I think for me it kind of like symbolizes all of the cool cats that I grew up with. You know, my grandparents had cats, a lot of cartoon cats like Garfield. It's just kind of a tribute to that sort of thing.
What else do we need to finish this off?
I think we just need a little drizzle of olive oil, and then we're good to launch this.
Fantastic. So you put your olive oil on before? Do you put it on after as it comes out as well?
I usually don't when I package my pizzas, but if I were serving this fresh to somebody or enjoying it myself, I would drizzle it after as well. I find a little bit of oil on top just helps the cheese melt a little bit better.
Okay.
And I like the texture that it gives to the sauce as well.
Wonderful. So that's ready. So we're just going to slide this into the oven. And how hot do you usually cook your pizzas at?
Around 475, so
okay,
pretty
so
hot.
a nice hot oven. Eh?
Yes, we want it to rise very quickly and get a nice crispy crust while still being very chewy and soft on the inside.
Wonderful. So we'll just toss that in here now. Ooh, gotta get that wiggle. There we go. And there we go.
Yes, nice and crunchy. At work I use a perforated pan because I love the crispy bottom on the pizza.
Well, that's it, yeah, and that's what those perforated pans kind of mimic the same idea as the stone, just to get that nice crisp on the bottom.
For sure.
Let's talk about your desserts a little bit more, Alex.
Yeah.
Your cakes, what kind of flavors are we offering? Are you offering the traditional chocolate, marble, and vanilla, or just the one kind of cake?
Yeah, so I started with the marble because that was, in my mind, the most nostalgic one.
Okay.
So we do the marble, and I also just released a cookies and cream one, which is like an Oreo base, so it's like a vanilla cake with Oreo chunks, and then the icing also has Oreos in it.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
And for cookies, what kind of cookies are you offering?
Our staple is our oatmeal chocolate chip, which we also offer wholesale. And I recently came up with a Oreo chocolate chip cookie, which is our newest flavor.
So Alex, being a small business owner is always challenging. Can you tell me how much time do you dedicate to this?
Oh my goodness. A lot of time. I would say it's most of my time. I spend a lot of time in the kitchen, probably about 50 hours a week. And then I also spend time at home just kind of working on things behind the scenes. So it is very much a full-time thing, but when you love what you're doing, it feels very worth it.
Well, you're right. When you love what you're doing, it isn't really a job, and you're kind of promoting something that you love to do, which is fantastic. Right on. So our pizza's done now, so there we are.
Ooh.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
So there we go. Our margarita pizza, which looks fantastic.
Wow, yeah, the cheese just like melted right in there.
It did, didn't it? So let's just cut that right up here like that. And Alex, remind me again where you're going to be this summer, where we can find all of these lovely pizzas and the other products that you're selling this summer.
Yeah, so this summer we're going to be at the Garrison Night Market, and we're actually going to have our Uni wood fire oven to finish off our pizzas to serve them hot to our customers. We're very excited.
An Uni oven, for people who don't know, what is it?
Yeah, so it's a portable wood fire pizza oven. It's just a small little desktop oven, and it fires your pizzas.
Thank you so much for coming on today.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. It's been great.
Thanks.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
I was born and raised in Musqueam First Nation territory by my mother, who spoke Hunkaminam to me. As a child, I ceased using my mother tongue, as to use any language other than English was considered not being Canadian, so I was told. The old people came to me in a dream and reminded me of who I am and where I come from. I have reawakened. My roots are strong, and I'm no longer a silent speaker. My language tells me where I'm from. It defines me and guides me to teach others to learn and understand our culture and traditions. A gift for those in the present and the unborn generations. What was lost is found. What was asleep has awakened. My blood is here, and I am complete. I have returned home.
October 5th, 2014, my daughter was hit by a train. She was walking along the sides of the tracks, and it shattered her world.
You're watching Rogers TV.
Calling all journalism students, Omni Television is once again awarding scholarships to qualified students pursuing a career in third language journalism.
When I found out that I won an Omni scholarship, I honestly wasn't expecting it. Winning an Omni scholarship helped me realize that I chose the right career path by pursuing third language journalism.
Omni is home to a variety of locally produced current affairs programs and daily national newscasts, broadcast in 6 languages.